Now, when we get home, this is going to be a big fight, I know, to get in the house. Just, I'll hand you a couple bags before you get out. Just go in and I'll get the rest. We won't be tripping over each other and all that shit. Just go in and unlock the door. If we're going, of course we're going home, but I was never going to call a lawyer. To call a lawyer?
To call your old lawyer.
My old lawyer? What are you doing? You don't do that. You got to file paperwork, I guess. Well, I heard. You have to write it in writing. I don't need to do any of that shit because I'm going to be dead. It really doesn't matter. That car that raced out in front of us, it happens all the time. As soon as I walk out, they take off. They're always already sitting in the car. Brights on. Never mind. Huh? I'll get the back door even with the door. Oh, okay. Yes, please.